able to meet quorum in person. Our new regulations from the chancellor, as there are 12 members of our council, requires 7 members in person in order to conclude or conduct any business. Forgive me. So unfortunately, we will have to table our election of our CEC officers to our October meeting, with the hopes that all of our CEC members can join us in person at that time. Then I'd move to our next item on the agenda, which is to approve our meeting minutes. But once again, since we are unfortunately unable to meet quorum at this time, I would request or motion that we move the reading of an approval of our July, August, and now September meeting minutes to October. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Frank. Do I have a second? Great. We're going to table those until our next meeting in October. The next item on our agenda was to vote on member absences, but again, since we cannot meet quorum, we are unfortunately unable to vote on our member absences. And so I'll move to the next item on our agenda, which is our CEC budget review. Again, we can review it as a council now, just to discuss briefly. I've circulated a copy to everyone. And for our members at home, we will place the budget on our on the screen for you guys and do a screen share. I'm so sorry. As we discuss the budget, so I just want to go over some different line items in our budget that we'll have to vote on for October. Again, a quick review. This is the $25,000 that is allocated to each CEC and is essentially our operating budget for the school year, 2023 to 2024. So our first line item is transportation for our AA. Typically, we schedule about $100 towards that in the off as is supposed to be coming up. We're having a Chancellor's Town Hall. If Leah needs to travel for any of our meetings, this covers her additional coverage for her routing to go other places than our CEC meeting. The P card is our essentially debit card for our CEC and is only to be used by our AA in emergency circumstances and has very strict protocol on how it's used and when it can be used. And we're looking to allocate $100 to that. Our food and refreshments, as we have now joined our in-person meetings, we have to allocate more funds to that line item. And it is now, we assume that $1,560 should be enough to cover our food for the year. Our member reimbursements is our largest line item. And again, as each of our CEC members is entitled to a $125 reimbursement for both their wireless services and for their travel and other expenses allocated during the month. Our member reimbursements for the 12 members ends up being $18,900 with an extra $200 allocated each month to the president. They take on more responsibility and more travel concerns. And so therefore the budget member reimbursement is larger for that particular member of our council. In order to expedite those member reimbursements, we'd like to add a new line item this year for document signing software, and that brings us to $240. We're going to allocate $250 towards community events. This often covers our ticket sales to various events, such as the Staten Island Federation of PTA Scholarship Luncheon. And so it doesn't require an extraordinary amount of money, just enough to cover our ticket expenses. In addition, we have professional development. We'll allocate $100 towards that. If anyone comes across anything related to your experience as a CEC member and expanding the knowledge on that, we can allocate funds towards reimbursement for attending an event like that. Most of our PDs are covered by FACE and offered at a free cost. So that's why the allocation is so low on that number. Advertisement we have for $150. We advertise in the Staten Island Federation of PTA's journal for their scholarship luncheon, and that $150 covers a full page ad to warmly congratulate all of the winners of the scholarship. Our office supplies, we've listed at $160, and the largest other ticket item on our budget, operating budget, is for our CEC website of $2,540. So I'd encourage everybody to just go over it. If you have any other questions about it, would like to look at how we allocate the funds or allocate funds in another capacity, please just send an email out to Leah and to the rest of the CEC team, and we can review it again in October, and then hopefully be able to pass our budget so that we can utilize some of our funds. I'm going to move to the president's report as the interim president and now remaining interim president. I'm going to say, again, congratulations to our newly elected CEC council members. I was hoping to welcome some more new members this evening, but was unable to. I'd like to discuss some upcoming CEC business for our council that's really important in the coming months. It's really important for everybody to know that we're staying on top of the looming bus strike and have reached out to the mayor's office, every single one of our electeds, and to the chancellor himself, imploring them to negotiate a fair contract for our bus workers and offering a more streamlined option for families in the event a strike does come to pass. Many of the DOE guidelines that have been released call for Metro cards to be released on a daily basis, and we have asked as a council that they reconsider that proposition and move to weekly Metro cards in the event that there is a strike, as well as instead of a daily reimbursement for families that are traveling or bringing their children to and from school, that reimbursement be allocated weekly. We'll have that letter available on our website for everybody to look at, and you can always reach us on our website at www.cec31.org. A copy of those letters were sent both by email and by the regular standard United States Postal Service to each of our offices. I'm really happy to also let the council know that Michael Riley, one of our previous CEC presidents for a number of years, reached out directly to us because of that correspondence and said that he's been working hard on trying to help come to a resolution. The next really important thing is that Steve Gonzalez, at the external affairs manager for the Staten Island, with the School Construction Authority, will be here next month. He's going to be discussing the updates on the future school construction of the St. John Villa campus. I know this is a hot button topic right now, but there are clearly plans in the works, and they'll be able to share those with us at our next CEC meeting. In addition, next month, Perry Stein from the Office of District Planning wants to share the annual district planning process for Staten Island. This develops a shared understanding of district needs and priorities and explores opportunities for potential school changes to address those needs and priorities beginning in the 2024-2025 school year. He will send the district data summary and data workbook that we'll share with the entire council so that everyone can review it prior to next month's meeting, so we can unpack that data and address any concerns as a council before the presentation goes public in October. So that be on the lookout for an email from Leah in the next couple days that'll include that information. Most important and biggest on our list is, again, as I mentioned before, we have tentatively scheduled the Chancellor's Town Hall with Chancellor Banks on November 8th. This event will be in person as well as held live streamed through Learning Times simultaneously. This will be in addition to our normal November business and calendar meeting. So within 1 week, we'll have 2 meetings that CEC members will be required to attend. It's important to note that. So that's one of the things that we would discuss as a council. We can discuss tonight if you guys would like. The event is timed from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. We need to discuss as a council the best way to engage our Staten Island to get the feedback and concerns that they are most pressing to them, that they would like to share with the council. We have to decide where the best location to hold it is.
It has to be a DOE location.
It has to be a DOE location. We can absolutely check in with the Petrides campus to find out if we can hold it in their auditorium in the event there's a large overflow, or hold it here in the Staten Island Borough President's Hall. Whatever, as a CEC we decide, we can then make sure that we have the correct building permits in order to proceed with the event. So we can discuss that. If you guys want to chime in and give me your thoughts on what you think about the town hall.
Hi, sorry.
Oh, somebody's calling me. It's Jimmy. Jimmy's talking to me. Jimmy,
Sorry.
I hear you.
I apologize. Can you repeat the time again?
It's from 6:30 to 7:30 on November 8th.
6:30
Definitely.
7:30. So you give us a whole
calendar.
hour.
He will only join us for 1 hour.
Oh my God.
Oh, I know. I have already, voiced disgruntled opinion that an hour is simply not enough time to really engage with the parent community. That has not changed. It's usually just question and answer forum. Go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I was just gonna say, if you want me to reach out to one of my schools, I'm gonna hold it there, or wherever you guys want to do, it's completely up to you. if you need my help in that, just let me know.
Yeah, I think we're really going to be focused on, for us as a council is to talk to BB because he's hosting one in September and one in October. So I'll reach out directly with Faith. I'm speaking with Anthony Settle tomorrow morning. We have a meeting already set up just to talk about what it's looked like in other boroughs and how many people have been in attendance. If it seems to be that people are clamoring to get an audience with the chancellor at this time, then I think we might want to pursue a larger venue to host everybody. If it seems that the events tend to have a smaller footprint, then maybe just holding it here at Patrides just might be the easiest and simplest thing for access for our families. Anyone else? Good. All right, that's it. I'm going to move to any council member reports. But since the school year has yet to begin, I'm pretty sure we don't have any. Any council member reports, guys? No, great. So, oh, Jimmy has one. Go ahead, Jimmy.
How shocked are you that I have something to say? The only report I have is that I did have the pleasure to, as a CEC, interview PS58's parent coordinator. That went well, so I'm really happy. That school has a new principal, and it looks like it's really going to thrive. So I'm really happy for that community, and they have a great hire there. So I just wanted to report that out.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jimmy. Any new business for the next agenda? I would like to put new business on the agenda addressing the lack of quorum at our meetings. And so that will be addressed before we meet again in October. That brings us to the end of our business meeting, thankfully, so long as I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Wonderful. Thank you, Frank. Do I have a second for that motion? Thank you so much. Oh, if everyone will be patient with us, we're going to take a break, 5 minutes, just to grab some food, some water, and then we'll begin our calendar meeting. Thank you so much.
Leah, we can't hear you.
How about now?
Perfect.
All right. Hello. Welcome, everyone, to our CEC 31 calendar meeting for September. I would like just to take a moment to let everybody know that our meeting here is going to be available in Spanish, Mandarin, and Russian. And so I'd just like to start off with some thanks for joining us. Even though we've had some technical difficulties, we thank you for your patience on that front. And we hope that the first days of school were happy, successful, and alleviated any stresses that our families and students were facing. As you know, our students are back in the classroom, and we want you to know that CEC 31 is committed to tackling important issues and working in partnership with the DOE, students, families, faculty, and our overall community to provide the best educational experiences possible. We look forward to an exciting and positive school year ahead, and we just want to say it's good to be back. I'd like to take a moment to mark the 22nd anniversary of the tragic events of September 11th. We as a council extend our love and support to the survivors, families of those who lost their lives, and the heroes of that fateful day. We would like to commence after this with a moment of silence to honor all those souls affected by the tragic event and let everybody understand that 9/11 reminds us of the brevity of life and the preciousness of it all. We'll never forget the sacrifices and the bravery and the impact of this day in New York City. I'd like to start with a call to order at 7:19 for our meeting and begin with a roll call of all of our members present first, and then our members that are joining us via our virtual option. So Frank Marino.
Frank Marino present.
Andrew
Frank
Guida.
Marino present.
Daniela Caputo.
Present.
Joseph Berg.
Present.
Lucia Curatolo Boylan is present. Virtually, Melissa Cosentino.
Present.
Jimmy Desiderato.
Present.
and Kate Slobodkin.
Present.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I need to let everybody know that the new chancellor's regulation, as there are 12 members to our council, is that we need 7 bodies in person in order to conduct quorum and business. And unfortunately, we do not have that quorum met today. So I would like to go to our next item on our agenda, which is to approve our meeting minutes, and we cannot approve them as we do not have quorum. And so I would ask for a motion to table the approval of our July, August, and September meeting minutes to October. Do I have a motion on the table?
I'll
Motion.
motion.
Thank you, Melissa, and a second from Frank. Our next item on our agenda was to vote on our member absences from July and August, but unfortunately, as again, we do not have quorum, we cannot vote on that issue. And so I motion to table that item till October. Do I have a motion on the floor? From Joseph and a second.
Second.
Thank you, Daniela. Our next item on our agenda was our CEC budget vote. And unfortunately, again, as we did not meet quorum, we are unable to vote on the allocation of our CEC 31 funds. So I would like to table the vote on our budget to our October meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
I'll motion.
Thank you, Frank, and a second.
I'll
Thank
motion
you,
second.
Andrew. Okay. All right. Our next item on the agenda is our president's report. As the interim president still and holding, I will deliver that report now. I'd like to say again, congrats to our newly elected CEC members that are joining us virtually. We have our existing members that are new to our council that have joined us for July and August, and we are deeply grateful for that. Thank you, guys. And to Frank and Daniela, as always, for being here for July and August as well. I want to let the community know that our council is staying abreast of the influx of asylum seekers arriving in Staten Island. Our Family Welcome Center is currently inundated, and while Staten Island classrooms have room and we've been able to find placement for our students, concerns about the city's ability to support their educational language needs are growing. We'll be addressing the current controversial St. John Villas campus at our October meeting directly with the School Construction Authority at that time. So they'll be here in October to let us know about the future school construction plans for the site and what that looks like. We are also taking part in conversations with the district around implementation of Chancellor Banks' literacy initiative to overhaul the curriculum that schools use to teach reading. This is his effort to standardize practices across schools. Those efforts begin over the course of this year and are required to start on Staten Island in the school year 2024-2025. We'll stay on top of his most recent announcements as well that include a new 9th grade algebra curriculum to be applied and an early childhood curriculum as well. We thank the opportunity the superintendent gave us in order to participate in those conversations around which programming our Staten Island schools are looking to use. Unfortunately, the ongoing aftermath of effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and disrupted years of schooling continue to hit our students with emotional and academic challenges. This means our council is also focusing this year on standardized test scores, elevated levels of absenteeism, students' mental health, and the ever-growing increase of student violence and youth violence on Staten Island. We are waiting with bated breath to hear about the promised free telehealth therapy application that was promised by the chancellor and mayor for students aged 13 to 17, and it was promised by the end of 2023. So we're staying on top of that as well. Some events that are occurring in the area include NYC is having a free virtual webinar in specialized transportation for students with IEPs. Obviously, with our bus crisis, this is an issue that is always first and foremost on our minds. And while we appreciate all the hard work and effort of OPT, we know it takes them a few weeks or so to kind of sort out through that schedule. So we're patiently waiting to see how that pans out. The Students with IEPs Specialized Transportation Seminar is on Thursday, September 14th from 10 a.m. to 11:30. You can learn about changes instituting this year regarding specialized transportation and receive useful information on how students can have a safe, secure, and on-time trip to school with their speaker, Ruth DeRoma, who works for Include NYC. Spanish and Mandarin translation will be provided and registration is required. We'll have that link placed in our chat. In addition, the citywide leadership team, the CLT Summit, is happening tomorrow, Tuesday, September 12th at 9:30 a.m. You'll have to register in advance for that as well if you're interested. They're doing a presentation on an overview of successful school leadership teams, that's our SLTs, and it's effectively aligning the budget with a comprehensive education plan, which is the goal of every SLT across the city. You can register in advance for this meeting as well, and Leah will place, our AA will place that link in the chat for everyone. Some awarenesses for the month of September for everyone to be aware of. This month, starting September 15th, is Hispanic Heritage Month, and it's a time to recognize and celebrate the many contributions, diverse cultures, and extensive histories of the American Latino community. You can celebrate Hispanic Heritage Day here on Staten Island by exploring the diversity of Hispanic cuisine in the 1820s Guyan Lake Tyson House kitchen and enjoy a special performance by Capuli Mexican Dance Company on Saturday, September 23rd from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at historic Richmond Town. It is $10, $5 for ages 6 through 11, and free for children ages 5 years and younger. We're going to place a link in the chat if anyone is interested to finding out more and how they can participate and attend. Really crucial to our district, after we had looked at district data for last year, September is also our Suicide Prevention Month. Creating Hope Through Action is the theme for World Suicide Prevention Day, which was yesterday, September 10th. This theme serves as a powerful call to action and a reminder that there's an alternative to suicide, and that through our actions, we can encourage hope and strengthen prevention. The Out of Darkness Staten Island Walk is happening on September 23rd in Clove Lake Parks, beginning at a 10 a.m. check-in. It is a journey of remembrance, hope, and support, and it unites our community and provides an opportunity to acknowledge the ways in which suicide and mental health conditions have affected our lives and the lives of those we love. You can register to walk or donate and learn more about their pre-walk events at the AFSP, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And Leah will also be placing that link in the chat for families. We want to encourage everybody that if you are struggling or someone you know is struggling, you can always dial 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline hours. They're available 24 hours a day in multiple languages to help people in crisis. You can also reach out to NAMI. That's the National Alliance on Mental Illness. The Manny of Staten Island offers in-crisis services, and you can learn more by visiting their website as well in the link that's listed below in the chat. We want everybody to know that you are not alone and help is available if only you're willing to ask. So we hope those resources are helpful, and that'll conclude our presence report. I'd like just to let everybody know that there's a link being posted in the chat that you can provide community feedback about this particular meeting and any of our meetings as we go forward, and that there'll be a sign up for speakers placed in the chat as well. If you'd like to speak at the end of our meeting, we encourage all of our attendees to do so if they have something that they would like to talk about or hear something over the course of the meeting that they'd like to share. Please feel free to click that link and register to speak. And then I'll turn it over to our wonderful and amazing district superintendent who braved the rain and roads to be with us this evening. Superintendent, take it away.
Good evening. Are you able to hear me? Great. So welcome. Happy Monday. So happy to be in your presence. I will try to keep my remarks brief, but you know I like sharing is caring. So I just want to give you some updates. We do have some new school leaders that have started with us, either towards the end of the last school year or just for this term that began. So I'm not sure if Michelle Bennett is on this evening, PS6, the new principal as of last Thursday. Welcome,
I
Principal.
am here. Hi, everybody. Thank you for welcoming me. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. It's been a wonderful beginning. Thank you.
Awesome. We also have, and happy birthday.
Thank you for that as well.
Happy
Thanks.
birthday.
You didn't have to give you an out, but you wanted to come and show up.
Absolutely.
So dinner plans. Now that I introduced you, have a wonderful evening. Be in school tomorrow morning.
Thank you, everybody.
The amazing principal of PS20 is Miss Amanda Mezzatesta on the call.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. It's a pleasure.
I think you're the newest of the newbies, right?
I am.
Welcome.
Thank
Hope you
you.
had a great couple of days. Well, no
Thank you.
stranger, Miss Stephanie Bassett at PS26. I know I introduced you already, but just come on, because now you're official.
Hi, everyone. And I see a friendly face. I see Melissa Constantino.
Hi,
from
Steph,
my
I
old
miss
school.
you.
I miss you greatly. Tell my friends at PS36 I say hello. But it's wonderful to see one friendly faces here. Had a great opening with my staff and community, and we're so excited for the school year ahead.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here as well. I don't think Orlando Di Gregorio's on from PS46, but we want to welcome her as well. She's been
Dr. Wilson, I'm here. I'm here, kind of sitting in the dark, but I'm here.
okay. We'll talk about that offline. I'll call you on the car ride. Oh, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank
Okay.
you, everyone. Thank you for that.
I don't think Francesca McCullough from PS55, and we're just talking about Stuyvesant, and she's a former AP from Stuyvesant. So bridging the gap. So think about it, having a high school assistant principal that's now principal of elementary school. She knows what the expectations are and high expectations of that. So stay tuned for what's to come. Also, the other birthday boys on the call, Gregory Rocco representing PS58. Are you on, Gregory?
I
Principal
am
Rocco?
Dr. Wilson. Thank you for having me. I'm humbled. I'm grateful. I'm happy. It's been a great first month for me and an exciting first couple of days. And with the staff and the community, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be the interim acting principal at PS58. Thank you, everyone.
And happy birthday. I
Thank
can't
you.
sing, otherwise I would sing to you guys.
Thank
So
you. Thank you very much, everybody.
I don't think the CEC wants that. They wouldn't speak.
That's okay. Thank you.
But they hey, Frank. Okay, so thank you all for joining us this evening. We really appreciate it and looking forward to a great school year. Just a few updates for CEC and our community members joining us this evening. So on August 30th, we had an amazing stream fair. Now, you guys know me, I think, well enough. I come up with these ideas, but I have a wonderful team that helps to enact it and bring the vision to life. So you may have heard of STEM. You may have heard of STEAM. You may have even heard of STREAM. Stream stands for, and we're going extreme. So I don't even have my bag to show you the new logo that we have in t-shirts. We're going wild with it. And shout out to Dr. Paulton for coming up with the logo. S is for science. T is for technology. R is going to stand for reading and robotics. And thank you, Deputy Superintendent Chavez, for reminding us about the reading, which aligns with Chancellor Banks' New York City Reads initiative. E is for engineering, A is for arts, M is for math. So what's so great about this? We had over 100 families show up and they participated in hands-on activities from flying drones, designing packages as if they were Amazon to test out to see which was the best one. We also had robotic arms using Lego pieces. There was a virtual reality station. There was a design lab. There were so many different hands-on activities, and this is just a taste of what's to come this year. So when getting feedback from CEC, it's very clear that there are parents that want more for their children through accelerated learning and gifted. But please do not get the message misinterpreted. This is not just for accelerating students. This is for all students across the island. And we have identified schools that are really doing it well so far. So what they're doing is creating classrooms of the future. The only industry that remains the same is education, where the classrooms are set up the same way Horace Mann set them up in 1860. Now we're in 2023. Let's think about the cell phone. When it first came out, big, bulky flip phones, very antiquated. But now you have these sleek designs, even to the Android users with your Galaxies and your other phones. But think about the changes that have been made. Education, we have to keep up with it. We identified a few exemplar sites and we had our first intra-district visitation. They went to schools like IS 27, IS 34, PS 55, PS 56, PS 58, IS 61, Tauntville High School, Staten Island Tech, and Molson McKee. At a later time, I'll share more information about what each school highlighted, but it was an amazing morning of sharing. And I can't wait to open it up for CEC members to join me on a roadshow to see some of the exciting things happening across our beautiful borough. The Dr. Karen Map series is a way of helping us train our parent coordinators to expand outreach and true parent engagement. Research shows that families that are engaged with their children's learning is tied directly to student achievement. So we thank you. Shout out to all the parent coordinators out there. And if you're not a parent coordinator on the call, please give them some love. They're the first line of defense to support our families. And we're so happy that they're getting the training to help further parent engagement. Feedback at the end of the review last year shared with me from President Boylan that there was a need for more of me. So while my living room chats were great and we got some great attendance, I'm thinking about a superintendent town hall. So save the date for September 21st, and I didn't get to share this with you sooner. September 21st, 5 p.m. here at Patrides. More information will be forthcoming. There'll be an opportunity up close to ask questions and just engage with me in a different manner instead of being online. Lastly, we will continue to seek input from stakeholders around curricular choices. We're probably even set up some intervisitations with schools using program already in existence, excuse me. We will not make any decision until we have input from all of our stakeholders. And this is, I promise, the last one. Our new teacher day, we welcomed over 100 new teachers at the U of T Teacher Center, and we were so excited. They were so bubbly and couldn't wait to get started. We'll continue training them on best practices, thinking about the science of reading, supporting students. But as you know, and you know me well, student engagement is something that's an all-time high. At our next meeting, I'll go deeper into the learning environment survey, where kids are still talking about the need for more work around bullying, but also to be engaged with work. So while it's important to support students who may not be able to read, who are struggling to meet grade level expectations, we are also equally committed in District 31 to advance those who are gifted or need acceleration in their learning. And I know something that you and I spoke about, President Boylan, is thinking about ways of just making it more robust offerings for students. I'm hearing you loud and clear. So the stream is my first attempt, but we'll definitely continue to engage around other ways of helping students achieve accelerated learning in a proper manner. That will conclude this month's superintendent's report. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Can I ask one question? Dr. Wilson, I know President Boylan said that we have seats available for migrants. I'm just wondering, I know it seems to be a little localized. Are they able to go to one school? Are there any issues with that? Or are they being accommodated where they're found? Is there anything we can do to help you with that? Or
great questions, and I don't like speaking off the top of my head, but I can definitely get in touch with Paul Hoffman.
okay,
And I can numbers specific. I've heard about one-offs, but large I have not been able to. But
okay. Because I see, if they're going to be concentrated in one spot, well, there might be seats otherwise. It might be putting a
well, it
burden
depends
on
on the age of the children and
particular
what's
school, right?
haven't gotten anything
Nothing,
in any school, but I will definitely reach out to Paul Hoffman. I can send something back with actual numbers for you. And if Christine or Roderick is on the call, please make a note of that to make sure that the CEC of information be able to provide. Please do so. Thank you for that question.
All right. I'd like to move on to our committee reports. Any committee reports? Jimmy? He had one earlier. I'm sure he'd like to share again. Go.
Yeah, that's fine. Just one piece is PS 58. As we know, the CEC interviews parent coordinators. So I had the pleasure a couple weeks ago to visit PS 58 and the new principal, Mr. Rocco, and interview their parent coordinator, who I think is a fantastic fit for the school. And I'm really happy to see. I hear great things already from the couple of days from PS 58. So just on that front, I'm happy to report that out.
Thanks so much. I'm going to move to public speaking, and I'll just double check with Leah if there's anybody signed up.
Lucia,
Leah, anyone signed up? Yes.
can I just have not so much committee reports, just a couple of some hot topics that I just wanted to cover before we go into.
Yeah. Do you want to do it next?
You
Give me
tell
2
me
seconds.
when you want. That's fine.
Give me 2 seconds, friend.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, so I think there's no one signed up for public speaking, so I'd love to move to some new business for our agenda. And I think Jimmy has some news to share. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Sorry, yes. Welcome everybody. Sorry I can't be there in person. A couple of just some burning things that are going on right now. I know it's only a couple days, and OPT usually is a struggle, but there's a major issue we have with OPT. I know we really probably should get Kevin on the horn and find out what's going on. But I was told that there prior to the school year that there wouldn't be a bus shortage issue because they hired a lot of bus drivers. But there are Pioneer is combining a lot of bus routes and getting pictures from parents from a couple different schools of kids standing in the buses. And it's just not right. And the schools, unfortunately, are left holding the bag because they're only guided for what Pioneer is telling them to do. I mean, there's other issues that parents have, you know, as far as with Pioneer, with the buses, if they're hot and air conditioned, all that other stuff, which I think is something that we should address. But I think the biggest issue is, you know, them not having enough staff or the buses not showing up, and they're combining routes and kids are showing up to school late. I understand it's the first 3 days. So, and things, you know, iron out, but it's historically OPT has been an issue. So I just wanted to put that on the radar of the CEC in the district. Another thing too is so I wanted to propose a resolution to the council about this is 9/11 today, and I wanted to see if we could pose a resolution to make September 9/11's Remembrance Month something where I think every school does. I was in a couple schools today and they do a great job of remembering and, you know, moment of silence. And I think it's very respectful. But I think over the course of a couple of years, we've added a lot of holidays to our school calendar, and understanding, you know, that might be a tall feat for the whole DOE to make 9/11 a holiday for us. I'm not saying that, but I think at the very least, I think maybe even district wise, we could do something where we have, you know, September 9/11 Remembrance Month. I remember a couple of years ago, we had 2 officers that were fatally killed, and we had NYPD, and it was great to see the camaraderie come in. I think we need to bring in that, I think more of the September 12th feel than the September 11th feel. I just wanted to know if we could propose that, even if it's not, I know our resolutions go to a higher level, but even as a district level, if we can make that. So I just wanted to propose that out there.
Great. I'll add it to next month's business agenda. Thank you so much, Jimmy. What a great idea.
I have one more thing, and I
I have
promise
a
I'm done.
hand raised. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry,
go
one more thing.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I want to get clarification because I don't know if this is true, but I've heard from a couple of schools that and this is kind of to piggyback on what Daniela said earlier about the migrants coming into the school. I don't know if residency and vaccination is something that they're looking at with the new migrants coming in. So I wanted to just take a deeper dive look into that. And if there's some kids that are not getting placed on because of zoning, and then other children, migrant children, getting in their places, I think is something that we need to look at. And I don't know if that's happening everywhere, so I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think it's something that we could take a deeper dive into looking at.
Yeah, I think we can include that in our messaging towards Paul Hoffman, and maybe we can invite him to speak at October if he's willing. Maybe he can share some more details about specifically how our migrant families are being addressed and how we're handling specifically a lot of their bilingual and if they're getting their medical needs met and all of those things met as well. So
I do believe that there is an organization that's helping with immunization, but don't quote me on it, but there was someone that did share with me that there was an organization through, I think I can reach out to Dr. Ginny and find out more, but from what I've heard, that through the Students in Temporary Housing Division, they have the necessary people for the language to accommodate. So thank you to Rick Domingo and his team, and also Juan De Leon, our supervisor of social workers, all helping and his team, and all the other city agencies coordinating to help with that. But definitely we can find out from Paul. I don't want to speak out of turn without having precise data to share with you.
Thank you. And just one last thing, and then I'll be done, I promise. I don't know who we contact with the DOT. I will say in one of my schools, I-72, they are looks like, first of all, the the outside where the two corners on Ferndale and Saxon, they look like they're about to rip up the corners to do curbs. And I will say, normally it's a little, it's hard around there anyway with the cars and the buses. Now to add construction onto that, I think it's going to be problematic for them for their arrival and dismissal. So I don't know if there's any way that we could, as a district, maybe get in touch with someone with DOT to possibly do that at a later time, maybe during the winter break or something like that. Because I think once they start breaking that up and that it might be, something where a safety issue might be an issue with their arrival and dismissals. I don't know if any other schools are having that issue.
Yeah, I don't know how, when it comes to DOT, like postponing projects becomes difficult because they have contracts that they have to complete within a certain window of time. But we can absolutely reach out to DOT and see if there's something that we can do about postponing a project. I know PS9 recently had an issue and DOT was able to work with them and move the timeline a little bit. So certainly it's something we can find out about. Just make sure you share out those details with Leah and myself, and then we'll make sure that gets addressed right away. Sound good, Jim?
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
No worries.
Jimmy, if the job seems to be curbs and sidewalks, generally that goes very quickly. Even if it's corner to corner, like a big city block. But I suppose them staging and when do they start would be, could be an obstruction. But usually when they start ripping up curbs and sidewalks, it gets poured and laid immediately. So it would be fairly quick, but still can't hurt to get to the bottom of the timeline and all that.
Thanks, Frank. I have a hand raised in our audience, so I'd love to turn it over to Dr. D from CEC3. Dr. D, if you're still here, you can unmute yourself.
Yes. All right, good evening, and congratulations everyone for election and for being here, and just regards from District 3. And as always, I would like to very encourage for bilingual education programs. So I'm happy we will explore again a possibility of bilingual education of Polish program in District 3, where there's many Polish families. And also, I just encourage you to explore digital learning and possibility of world language learning through the remote process, because the learning of English or of languages is easier for all the students, like middle school, high school. I know there is not so huge concentration of the other than English and maybe Spanish students, but I guess many of Italian, Polish, or Russian students around the District 321, and maybe this opportunity to consider just world language learning, not only in school, but for the students in whole district through digital resources. So please please support me eventually to try start this pilot program in District 31. Have a great evening.
Thank you so much for sharing. We always love having you in our meetings, and we look forward to seeing a Polish bilingual program open here on Staten Island. Anyone else we have inside here? No? Then I'd just like to take a moment to thank our district superintendent for navigating difficult weather to be with us tonight. I'd like to thank all of her staff that has joined us on this meeting as well. Deputy Chavez and Deputy Paulton. I want to thank all of the new principals and congratulate them on their brand new positions. We look forward to working with you. Oh, I just muted out everything. Can you guys still hear me? I'm sorry. We look forward to working with you as your CEC liaisons. So keep an eye out for your emails because we're coming for you. And I just want to say thank you to Marie Rodriguez from the US. Anyone else I missed? I'm looking briefly through the participant list, so forgive me. Yeah. Denise Pacheco, thank you for coming by earlier. And again, we're so grateful to have been able to be in person. Thank you for joining us. We have one member in person with us today. Thank you for coming. We're so happy to see you. And I just want to let everybody know, again, our goal is to reach quorum at our October meeting by having 7 of our members join us in person. So I'm going to ask then if we can move to our next item on the agenda, which is our adjournment. And all I'll need is a wonderful motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Daniela. Do I have a second?
Motion.
Second from Andrew Guido. Then I'd like to say our motion on our meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much. Everyone enjoy the Jets game, like Teresa Sterling says. Thank you to all our previous CEC members who joined us, CECs, Teresa Sterling and Sarah Glass. We're grateful to you guys always. And I look forward to seeing you all in October when we can conduct our CEC elections. Thank you all and have a wonderful night. Stay safe, everyone. Have a great rest of your September. We'll see you in
Thank you,
October.
guys. Great seeing
Bye-bye.
you. Look forward to seeing you all in person.
Bye.